Overthinking rarely appears overnight. It grows through assumptions, through fear, through the stories we quietly tell ourselves. If you've ever loved someone deeply, yet felt exhausted by your own thoughts, these 5 shifts may help you see love differently. 1. Separate the facts from the story in your mind. Have you ever turned one unanswered text into an entire breakup inside your head? It usually begins with something ordinary. They're busy. They haven't replied yet. Or maybe they're simply quieter than usual. But within minutes, your mind begins filling in all the missing pieces. Are they losing interest? Is there someone else? Did I do something wrong? The strange part is, no one actually told you any of those things. Your mind created the story on its own, and somehow, it almost always chooses the worst possible ending. In reality, the only fact is that one message hasn't been answered, but inside your head, it becomes proof of betrayal, rejection, or abandonment. Overthinking doesn't hurt us because of reality. It hurts us because assumptions, repeated often enough, start to sound like facts. Perhaps the first step toward peace isn't trying to stop thinking. It's realizing that not every thought deserves to be believed. Some clouds look heavy enough to bring a storm, yet never release a single drop of rain. 2. Find the real source of your fear. Have you ever wondered why your mind always expects the worst, even when the person in front of you hasn't done anything wrong? They text a little less. They're busy for a day. Their mood seems different. And suddenly, your heart begins preparing for goodbye. You ask yourself, what if they're leaving? What if I'm no longer enough? But the truth is, overthinking rarely begins in the present. It usually begins somewhere much earlier. Maybe you were betrayed before. Maybe someone you loved walked away. Maybe you grew up watching love fall apart. Those experiences don't simply disappear. They stay quietly beneath the surface, waiting for something familiar enough to wake them up. The present didn't create your fear. It simply touched an old wound. So sometimes, you're not reacting to the person standing in front of you. You're reacting to a version of your past that still lives inside your heart. Some bells don't ring because a storm is coming today. They ring because they still remember yesterday's storm. 3. Don't let love become your entire world. Have you ever noticed the more free time you have, the more you overthink? When your entire day revolves around one person, one delayed reply can throw everything into chaos. You check your phone, refresh your messages, wonder where they are. Imagine dozens of different scenarios, not because you love them more, but because your relationship has quietly become the center of your emotional world. When someone no longer has work that excites them, hobbies that inspire them, friends to spend time with, or goals they're moving toward, the mind naturally searches for something to focus on, and very often, it chooses the relationship. That's why so many people notice their overthinking begins to fade when they reconnect with their own lives. Their work, a forgotten hobby, the gym, old friends, not because they love their partner any less, but because love no longer has to carry the weight of their entire world. Perhaps the healthiest relationships are never built by two people who lose themselves in each other. They're built by two whole lives walking side by side. 4. Accept that no relationship is perfect. Have you ever had one argument and immediately wondered, maybe we're just not right for each other? Or after just one quiet day, your mind whispered, is there someone else? Overthinking rarely travels alone. It often comes hand in hand with perfectionism. You expect your partner to always understand you, never forget, never disappoint you, never change. But love has never worked that way. Two different people will always have misunderstandings, tiring days, careless words, moments when they simply get it wrong. Those moments aren't signs that love is falling apart. They're signs that two imperfect people are learning how to love each other. The problem is, when your mind keeps searching for a perfect relationship, every small mistake begins to feel like proof of something much bigger. One disagreement suddenly becomes evidence that love is fading. One delayed reply turns into fear of betrayal, not because the relationship has changed, but because overthinking has a habit of turning ordinary moments into imagined disasters. Perhaps lasting love isn't a relationship without flaws. It's a relationship where flaws are no longer mistaken for endings. Some waves only ripple the surface of the lake. They were never meant to become a storm. 5. Learn to trust yourself again. Have you ever believed that you simply don't trust your partner? Maybe that's not the whole truth. Maybe the person you struggle to trust is yourself. You wonder, what if they leave me? What if I'm not enough? What if everything falls apart? And what if I can't survive it? When you don't believe you're strong enough to face loss, your mind tries to control everything before anything bad can happen. It wants to analyze every message, notice every change, search for every warning sign. Not because it knows what's coming, but because it believes being prepared will hurt less. That's how overthinking quietly takes over. But life has never become safer because we worried more. And love has never become stronger because we doubted more. Perhaps the moment you stop questioning everyone else begins with the moment you stop questioning your own worth. Because when a tree truly trusts its roots, it no longer fears every passing wind. Stay with us for more stories that make you see yourself a little differently. Like and subscribe.